there, this is Ginger from Ginger Snapshots. Hey, this week I am excited. I got a new light. I've got a new Godox light, the Godox SK400II V version. So this is the updated version of my very first strobe light ever. Okay, so here is my very first strobe light ever. I did have a Godox on camera flash, just the 350, smaller TTL, and it worked great, but it wasn't enough power when I knew that I wanted to switch into studio work. So the first actual studio light that I got, moving from that flash and from constant lighting, I got this, the SK400II. And I will say that what's great about these Godox lights is that you don't have to have an adapter. They just screw right down on top of the light stand. So you're just, you unscrew that, stick it down on the light stand, tighten it up, and you're good to go. And then you just will, it comes with a Bowens mount, which just means that you have the three holes there that fit into a Bowens mount. So that works perfect. All right, so when I first used this, I used this because I bought it because I was getting into photography and I didn't really know if I would want to, do studio work with a strobe light. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do at that point. And so I bought this. It was $139 and you gave it a chance and I loved it. And I knew I knew that studio work was what I was going to do. I knew that I love studio lighting. I love the idea of being able to control your light and direct it and change the power of it. And I love that extra pop that you get from a strobe lighting. And so it was like a game changer for me and I was hooked. Okay, so from there, I've actually went down in power. I work with newborns, and when I'm working with I put it in an umbrella light, a PLM umbrella light, and I'm just so close to the newborns, like 2 foot from them. So, I went down to the AD200 light and it works great. I do, like when I do family shots or head shots, I use this light. This light works perfect inside of my Beauty Dish softbox for head shots and shots, just things like that. So I didn't really have any complaints, but you always want to try the new things. And actually Godox, they reached out to me to ask me if I wanted to try it, and I'm like, yes. I do, and I was excited to do so. Okay, so what is the difference? Well, the old version, basically they look mostly alike. This one's a little bit more compact, I believe. Like you look on the back, it looks basically the same, except it's new and shiny, that kind of thing. But what you will first and quickly, and the biggest thing you'll notice, is this light bulb. So this is the old version, and this has the old type light bulbs. And I've shared in other videos that I break this off because it just sticks out and I get in a hurry. And that's not a dig on Godox for sure. I know that I'm clumsy. The last time I replaced this, I bought 4 bulbs because they're not that much money, but I just wanted to be able to have that. So do you need this? No, you can actually use this strobe all day long without ever turning on the mod light. It just depends on what you're using it for. A lot of times I will have lights on the front of the studio and I'm working in the back of the studio, and I don't always use the modeling light. I don't always have to for that reason, because I've got enough light in here. I'm doing headshots or something like that. But when I'm doing pictures with the babies, I really do like to use the modeling light. And what I've used it for is when I'm doing, maybe the babies are doing a prop shot on the floor, they're in a little bucket, they're in a little bed, something like that. And I want to, especially when I want to do a video. So I'm using this for photography and I'm capturing the baby, or, whatever, I'm capturing the client subject, and that's what the purpose of it is. But the modeling light, maybe I want to switch my camera to video real quick and do a behind the scenes, or just give the parents a little separate video. Maybe you pull back a little bit, and it's just nice to have that added video. So here's the big thing. So I do use it, but what I've noticed getting this new one is 2 things. So first I'll show you, this is it. And I don't know if I can. All right, this is just the light itself. It didn't come with the kit. But what it does come with is this little cover. So it covers it up so that you're not going to damage your strobe light. So here they are side by side. I'm trying to look at my little video monitor. So this little circular part is the strobe portion. So you could actually take pictures, and that's why if I broke this light bulb, it doesn't stop me from doing photography, because I still have the strobe on there, and I've never damaged the strobe. I've never had any problem with the strobe light part of it. And they're both secured on here. They stick out, and there's a little bracket there that just keeps them secure to the body of it. Okay, so the new version has LED lights. There is no more bulb, and I'm really excited about that. If you can tell the little yellow light inside there, it doesn't stick out. What you're seeing stick out on this one is the actual strobe part of it. And it's not very far. It just doesn't get in the way. It's just a huge difference to me. Here's the other thing. Okay, so here, when you have this, I'm sorry. I think I unplugged it. Okay. We're good now. All right, so when you have this, you can have it on the modeling light. This is 95%. Here's off, and here's the prop. So it's just a smaller, just to give you a light. I will say this, that when you're using the modeling light, my camera finds focus faster. So when you have that on, it helps to not be in the dark for that reason. So there's that. But I wanted to point out this, and I hope you can see it and notice on camera. Look how warm that is. So when I give the parent a photograph and a video, they look completely different because this is so warm and so yellowy. I want to say yellowy. And so you're doing that, and when you produce it, you give it to them, and they're like, well, why is this so much cooler? Because, you know, I set the white balance in my camera for flash, and the flash is just a nice daylight balance kind of color. It's just a cooler color temperature, more close to maybe 5600. And so that's the main difference. So I will turn this on, and I think you will see, I don't want to point it at the camera, I'm sorry. So what is this one? This is at 100%. So whereas this would go to 95, this goes to 100. So off, that's the prop light. That's a little bit smaller. And so to me, when I'm looking at it, this is even brighter. And that makes sense just because LED lights are so much more efficient. You'll have a lower wattage, but have a higher light output. So it is a 10-watt modeling light. So, and then the strobe is 400. So, can you tell the difference to see that this is a cooler? This is almost the same color temperature as the strobe itself. And so now I'm excited to do videos, so I can do have a baby on the floor doing the prop shot in the little baby bed or the bucket, and I want to do a quick video. I switch my camera to video, and that light, that color temperature matches. So that's probably my biggest thing is the color temperature. That's just exciting to me. As you can see, everything's about the same. All it came with was the little cover, a couple extra fuses. Really, that's all you need. They do sell it in kits too. So when I bought my first one, I bought it with a kit, and you get an extra little shade on there. I think I have a grid, barn doors, and gels that came in the kit. So that if you ever want to buy a kit versus just the light, I already have that. All of this fits. I've already tried this on here. Everything still fits. It's still a Bowens mount. These are all Bowens mount. So I can use everything that I used. I probably could use the same cord because it is still a Godox cord. But I am excited about that light not breaking and me not having to replace those, and the color temperature. So, okay, I just want to interrupt myself here. I have now tried to light out. I had somebody call for a headshot session, and I'm like, yes, I can try out my new light. And so I had the new light, the SK400II V version. I had that in a 34-inch Beauty Dish softbox light as the main light. I did use the Godox AD200 Pro and a shoot-through umbrella as the fill light, and then the small Godox 350S, as the S is just for Sony, as the hair light. And I did intentionally have a lower hair light just because I didn't want any glare on his head. But here you go. This is what it looks like. And yes, you can tell that gray suit kind of I actually altered this a little bit in post and darkened his suit to kind of like give a little bit of contrast there. But you can still see that the light was really nice. It put out real nice output. And even put some light on the backdrop itself and on him. I think there's a nice a little bit of specular highlights there. And then we switched over to my white wall. I didn't even use a backdrop. This is just a white wall. And again, I think it just produced nice light. I can't say that there's this huge improvement because I wasn't having any problems before. I was loving my light. I actually did a comparison of some LED lights that I was using for the Rubylens lights, and then I compared it to, you know, taking an image, a photo with the LED lights, and then the Godox SK400II, just the you know, the previous version, and it was just like, wow, what a difference. There was just such a more vibrancy, more of a pop. It was just a huge difference to be able to switch to that light. So I've already shown that that Godox light, the 400, is just, it produces nice light, and if anything, this would be better. Certainly the LED light is way better. I haven't done any behind the scenes, but today I did get a new backdrop, and I did a little video on my iPhone to send to a friend to say, look at my new backdrop kind of thing. And what I noticed was that I had the modeling light on, and it looked great. And I realized then that there was no color cast. There wasn't this jaundice looking skin is what it kind of looks like. And I know you can change white balance and change that, but when you're in the middle of a session and you switch between video and that's a lot to just sort of change all those settings. It's just easier if you're dealing with the same color temperature, and it is. So I am really pleased having opened it, and now I'm really pleased having used it. So this is just part one. Part two, I'm going to do, I'm going to get a snoot and a reflector to go with that and try that light out with that. It's a kit that you can get. I have never used a snoot before, so this is new to me, and we'll learn together. I think it's great to do creative work and do all kinds of different things. Even if I'm mostly doing baby photography, I do love to do portraits and just kind of experiment with that and maybe see what that does. So stay tuned for that, and I will also in that video include a $7 discount for that snoot or reflector. And that's it for now, so I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, don't forget, hit like and subscribe. Bye.